Phillison, Follison, Nicholas, John, Queevy, Quavy, English, Navy, Stiglum, Staglum.
100% of the main cast of Bewitched was wiped out by pure horror. Looking back in 2026, behind the magic lay only brutal deaths. The lead actress eaten away by cancer, destroyed in just 8 weeks. A veteran star dropped dead from grief after losing his son in a terrorist bombing. Another was erased by Hollywood, dying completely broke and isolated. What dark curse wiped out this entire cast? Comment below. Bewitched, then and now. Elizabeth Montgomery, born on April 15, 1933, was 31 years old when she became Samantha Stevens in Bewitched in 1964. With a simple twitch of her nose, she became one of the biggest television stars in America and seemed to have the perfect life. But behind the magic was a far darker reality. Montgomery went through 4 marriages, including a highly publicized relationship with producer William Asher, with whom she had 3 children. As Bewitched turned into a worldwide hit, she found herself trapped by the very role that made her famous, spending years fighting to escape Samantha's shadow. After the series ended, she rebuilt her career through dramatic roles and amassed an estimated fortune of around $20 million. Yet tragedy was waiting. In early 1995, doctors discovered colon cancer that had already spread to her liver. The diagnosis came shockingly late, and just 8 weeks later, on May 18, 1995, Elizabeth Montgomery was gone at only 62 years old. The woman who spent years bringing magic to millions could not defeat the disease that silently ended her life, leaving behind one of television's most unforgettable legacies.
I don't know what you're up to or who that girl is, but you're not proving anything. A monk wouldn't be safe with her.
I've never been more serious in my life. Phillison, Follison, Nicholas, John, Queevy, Quavy, English, Navy, Stiglum, Staglum.
Agnes Moorehead, born on December 6, 1900, was 64 years old when she began playing Endora in Bewitched. With her sharp personality and humorous confrontations with Samantha, she quickly became one of the most memorable characters on the show. But few people know that before that, Agnes had already been a famous Hollywood star for more than 3 decades. Off-screen, her life was filled with mystery. Agnes went through only one short-lived marriage, had no children, and almost never revealed details about her private life. That very secrecy sparked countless rumors throughout Hollywood for many years. In the early 1970s, her fortune was estimated at about $3 to $5 million. However, her final years were overshadowed by tragedy. In 1974, Agnes died of uterine cancer at the age of 73. Afterward, her name was often mentioned in the controversy surrounding The Conqueror, where many cast members developed cancer after filming near an area that had previously been used for nuclear testing, although it was never proven. This theory continues to fuel public debate to this day. By 2026, Agnes Moorehead remains one of the most mysterious figures associated with Bewitched, a talented, wealthy, and famous star who also left behind questions that have never been answered. Dozens of actors and crew members from The Conqueror later developed cancer. Was it merely a frightening coincidence or a sign of a forgotten disaster? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Around your neck. When you need me, put it between your teeth and do this. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack.
Kidding.
Dick York, born on September 4th, 1928, was 35 years old when he became the first Darren Stevens on Bewitched. With his charm and natural comedic talent, he quickly came to be regarded as one of the most beloved sitcom husbands of the 1960s. But behind that success was a tragedy that lasted for many years. A serious spinal injury from the late 1950s caused York to endure excruciating pain and gradually become dependent on pain medication. When his health condition became impossible to control, he was forced to leave Bewitched in 1969, losing the most famous role of his life at the very moment the show was at its peak. Unlike many Hollywood stars, Dick York had a remarkably stable marriage. He married Joan Alt in 1951, and the two remained together for more than 40 years, until his death. They had 5 children, and Joan stayed by his side, caring for him throughout his years of illness. Losing the ability to work caused York's finances to decline severely. Although he had once been a famous television star, his net worth at the time of his death in 1992 was estimated at only about $100,000 to $500,000. He died at the age of 63 from emphysema, leaving behind a heartbreaking story of a great talent destroyed by injury, drug dependence, and lost opportunities.
This is not something like somebody who just thinks they're a lighthouse.
Darren, I love you so much.
David White, born on April 4th, 1916, was 50 years old when he took on the role of Larry Tate in Bewitched. With his portrayal of the always impatient advertising executive and his humorous exchanges with Darren Stevens, he became one of the most memorable supporting characters on the show. Before Bewitched, White had already built a career spanning decades on Broadway, in film, and on television. The success of the series made him a familiar face to millions of American viewers and provided him with a comfortable life. With an estimated net worth of about $1 to $5 million by the end of his life. But behind his successful career was a devastating tragedy. In 1988, his only son, Jonathan White, was killed in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Scotland, one of the deadliest aviation disasters of the 20th century, claiming 270 lives. This loss is believed to have left David White heartbroken during his final years. David White never truly recovered from the pain of losing his son. He died of a heart attack in 1990, at the age of 74, just 2 years after the tragedy. By 2026, his story is still considered one of the most heartbreaking among the Bewitched cast. A man who found success on screen, but faced an irreplaceable loss in real life.
It seems that they continued that Donnybrook they were having and cleared up a lot of old misunderstandings. They're happy as larks.
Actually, Larry, everything turned out beautifully.
I guess so. How do you like that for integrity, huh? Isn't he something? All he cares about is cutting down the costs for the client. No matter what it costs us.
While many actors spend their entire lives searching for fame, Marion Lorne did not truly become a star until she was nearly 80 years old. But just as her greatest success finally arrived, time was no longer on her side. Born on August 12, 1883, Marion Lorne was 78 years old when she took on the role of Aunt Clara in Bewitched. With her lovable clumsiness, spells that frequently went wrong, and kind-hearted personality, she quickly became one of the most beloved characters on the show. What makes her story especially remarkable is that her greatest success came very late in life. After spending decades working in theater and television, she only truly became a nationally recognized star in the United States when she was nearly 80 years old. Her story is often seen as proof that success can come at any age. Marion married the famous playwright Walter C. Hackett in 1911. The two remained together until her husband's death in 1944 and had no children. thanks to a career that spanned many decades. Her net worth was estimated at about $1 to $3 million by the end of her life. In 1968, while Bewitched was still enjoying great success on television, Marion Lorne died of a heart attack at the age of 84. Her passing led the producers to decide not to replace Aunt Clara with another actress, as many believed no one could recreate the unique charm she brought to the role. Ironically, after her death, Marion won an Emmy Award for her performance. By 2026, Aunt Clara is still considered one of the most beloved characters in the history of Bewitched.
But there's some things I don't do as well as I used to. Not at my age. Who does?
Dick Sargent, born on April 19, 1930, was 39 years old when he replaced Dick York as Darren Stevens on Bewitched in 1969. This is considered one of the most controversial casting changes in American television history, as many viewers could not accept that Darren suddenly had a completely different face. Although he faced pressure from fans, Sargent remained with the show until it ended in 1972. However, he always lived under the shadow of the debate over whether he could truly replace Dick York. In his personal life, Dick Sargent never married and had no children. For many years, he kept his private life secret, out of concern for the impact it might have on his career. In 1991, at the age of 61, he publicly came out as gay, becoming one of the first well-known television actors of his generation to do so. After that, he became actively involved in advocating for LGBT rights and frequently appeared in public awareness campaigns. In his final years, Sargent battled a number of health problems. His net worth at the time of his death in 1994 was estimated at about $1 to $3 million, although he is still remembered as the second Darren Stevens. Dick Sargent's greatest legacy may be the courage he showed in publicly embracing who he truly was, during a time when very few Hollywood stars dared to do so.
You know, if I could go back and do it all over again, here's what I'd do.
Honey, you're beautiful, sweet, clever, adorable, and I love you madly. It works.
Well, it doesn't work on me, but I love you.
Zolda, Planken, Kopek, Lum.
Zolda, Prankan, Kopek, Lum? That was a dirty trick!
Alice Pierce, born on October 16, 1917, was 47 years old when she took on the role of Gladys Kravitz in Bewitched in 1964. With her overly curious personality and habit of spying on the neighbors, Gladys quickly became one of the most beloved comedic characters on the show. But while audiences laughed at her appearances on screen, Alice was quietly battling ovarian cancer in real life. Remarkably, most of the cast, crew, and viewers had no idea that she was seriously ill. Despite undergoing treatment and facing steadily declining health, Alice continued to work throughout the filming period. Alice married screenwriter Paul Davis in 1957 and had no children. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at only a few $100,000, relatively modest compared to many television stars of her era. On March 3, 1966, Alice Pierce died of ovarian cancer at the age of 48, just as Bewitched was at the height of its success. Ironically, only a few weeks after her death, she was awarded a Primetime Emmy Award for her role as Gladys Kravitz. It was the greatest achievement of her career, but she never had the chance to accept it. By 2026, Alice Pierce's story is still considered one of the most moving and tragic deaths in the history of American sitcoms. Did Hollywood truly appreciate Alice Pierce, or did it only begin to recognize her talent after it was already too late? To this day, no one knows exactly what happened inside that hotel room. In the minutes before a man fell from the 8th floor to his death. Police called it an accident, but in Hollywood, the rumors never truly disappeared. Born on June 13, 1926, Paul Lynde was about 38 years old when he appeared as Uncle Arthur on Bewitched. With his razor-sharp wit and unforgettable comedic performances, he quickly became one of the most beloved characters on the show. Yet in real life, Paul's world was very different. At a time when being openly gay could destroy a career, he spent years living under the pressure of hiding his true identity. Rumors about his private life constantly followed him. But the biggest shock came in 1965. A young friend named James Davidson died after falling from a hotel window, with Paul being the last person known to have been with him before the accident. Although the investigation concluded that it was an accident and Paul was never charged with any wrongdoing, the incident generated countless rumors that persisted for decades. Many biographers have suggested that the shadow of that event never truly left his life. As his fame continued to grow, Paul also struggled with alcoholism and a series of scandals that frequently made headlines. He never married, had no children, and lived a relatively lonely life in his final years. When he died of a heart attack in 1982, at the age of 55, his net worth was estimated at about $5 to $7 million.
To that time.
Rest my weary behemoth. In fact, I think I will.
Born on May 11, 1927, Bernard Fox was about 37 years old when he first appeared as Dr. Bombay, the eccentric and humorous witch doctor, on Bewitched. Although he was a supporting character, his appearances always left a strong impression on viewers thanks to his charming acting style and distinctive British accent. What is remarkable is that Bernard Fox's career spanned more than 6 decades. During that time, he appeared in hundreds of television programs and many classic productions, loved around the world. Many viewers also remember him for his role as Colonel Archibald Gracie in the famous film Titanic, nearly 30 years after Bewitched ended. Outside of acting, Bernard was known for leading a relatively stable life and staying away from the scandals often associated with Hollywood. He was married to Jacqueline Fox and had 2 children. Thanks to his unusually long career and numerous successful roles, his net worth at the time of his death was estimated at about $4 to $6 million. Bernard Fox died in 2016 from heart failure at the age of 89. By 2026, he is still remembered as one of the most familiar faces on American and British television, a rare actor who was able to maintain a successful career. From the era of black and white television, all the way into the age of modern Hollywood.
You don't say. Scotch and soda?
Does this potion work in the usual way?
Yes. After imbibing this potion, if he does, he'll be breaking a lifetime habit. Well, here goes nothing.
Erin Murphy, born on June 17, 1964, was only about 2 years old when she took on the role of Tabitha Stevens, Samantha's adorable witch daughter, on Bewitched. With her cute appearance and natural acting ability, she quickly became one of the most famous child stars on American television during the 1960s. Unlike many child stars who struggled as adults, Erin built a successful life for herself after stepping away from the spotlight of Hollywood. In addition to acting, she worked as a television host, brand spokesperson, and participated in a variety of business ventures. Erin's personal life has also gone through many changes. She has been married multiple times and is the mother of 6 children. In many interviews, Erin has admitted that balancing family, work, and fame has not always been easy. Thanks to her various business and media activities, Erin Murphy's net worth is currently estimated at about $10 to $15 million. By 2026, she still frequently appears at Bewitched fan events, making her one of the very few prominent cast members who are still alive and actively involved with the show's legacy. More than 60 years after the series first premiered, Tabitha Stevens remains the role most closely associated with Erin Murphy's name.
I wish I was a doggy. I wish so too.
Tabitha, where's Michael? Oh, Tabitha, you didn't.
Maurice Evans spent his entire life conquering the stage, but he also carried a secret that the public never truly unraveled. Born on June 3, 1901, Maurice Evans was about 57 years old when he appeared on Bewitched as Maurice, Samantha's powerful and commanding father. Before that, he had already been regarded as one of the most renowned Shakespearean actors in England, with a reputation that few television performers could match. However, what fascinated many people was not his career, but his private life, which remained almost completely hidden from public view. Maurice never married, had no children, and rarely shared anything about his personal affairs. For decades, Hollywood was filled with speculation about his romantic life, yet Evans never publicly addressed the rumors. In the end, he carried those secrets with him for the rest of his life. Although he stayed away from scandal, Maurice still built an estimated fortune of about $2 to $5 million through more than half a century in the entertainment industry. But behind his international fame was a rather lonely old age, with no immediate family of his own by his side. Maurice Evans died in 1989 at the age of 87. By 2026, he is still remembered as one of the greatest Shakespearean actors of the 20th century, as well as one of the most mysterious figures ever to appear on Bewitched.
There will be no more interfering with my grandchild. Macbeth! Lady? Come along. Glory and love to the men of old.
Time has finally closed the chapter on Bewitched. The stars who once brought magic and laughter to millions of viewers have all passed on, and many of them faced heartbreaking tragedies in their real lives. But no matter how cruel fate may have been, Samantha and Dora and those familiar faces will live on forever in the memories of generations. Because sometimes, the greatest magic is not found on the screen, but in the memories that never fade. Thank you for taking the time to join us in looking back at the lives and destinies of the stars who helped create the legend of Bewitched. Although they have left this world, the moments they gave us on screen will always remain a cherished part of the memories of many generations of viewers. If you still remember Bewitched or have a favorite character from the show, leave a comment below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can continue joining us on more emotional journeys through television history and nostalgia in the episodes ahead.